Well, it's been a while since I've made a video. I've been real busy with work, and whatever time I've had has been with the kids or with hunting, which hasn't been a whole lot, except I did get a doe this year with my Halon 5. And I got a bear earlier this season, and you can see it's still pretty dirty, maybe a little bit bloody even. I had gotten a doe early October and haven't had a chance to get back out there. It's gun season actually today, so I decided to do a video. And this Halon 5 has done great for me in the field. I put a little bit longer bee stinger on it, and it seemed to really help on the hold of the bow. However, I got real tempted the other day and bought this Halon 7. And I've been shooting it quite a bit, and I think this is going to be more my go-to bow for the rest of the season. I really like this 7-inch brace height versus the 5-inch brace height when it comes to wearing a thicker coat. And so I just wanted you to see the two different bows side by side. We'll chronograph them and give you a little bit of impression with them as well. I've had plenty of good accuracy with this Halon 5, but it took me a little longer to get good at it. Shooting that shorter brace height. And this Halon 7, it just was so much more natural feeling when it came to shooting it. And I think in part it's due to that little bit longer brace height. I know that there's probably a little bit of a debate on whether or not that makes much of a difference, but I really feel that 7 inches in the brace height, when you measure brace height, we're going from here to the string versus 5, seemed to make it a little bit easier just to handle. But for the most part, I've had a lot of good accuracy with this bow too. You can see it's been through some real hunts. It's got dirt on it now. It's been scraped up a little bit of blood's on it as well. But it's done its job, and I really appreciate this extra speed that came from it. That's probably what attracted me to the Halon 5 initially. But the more I've been handling this Halon 7, the more I've been really liking it. I also have the Halon HTX, which is kind of a target, and in my case, hunting / 3D bow. And you can see the cams are a lot smaller on it. And I think the draw cycle is quite a bit different. I actually kind of like the draw cycle a little bit better on this Halon 7 as far as I can remember, but I'm going to shoot them all through the chronograph now and tell you a little bit of how I like the feel of them. We're going to start with the Halon 5 again and shoot it through the chronograph. This is a 380 grain arrow I have here, more or less. Let's take it over here to the chronograph. Take a look at the speed. Smooth draw cycle. Super nice valley. Come a little closer. Did hit my sleeve, but we have 336 feet per second, so that's really moving along well. Perfect draw cycle. Now it says 333, so we've had that. I would expect about 10 to 15 feet per second slower. It's both a 29 inches and 70 pounds, as far as the manufacturer said. Let's see what the Halon 7 does through it. .318, so we're getting about 15 feet per second slower, it looks like. They're both at 70 pounds, 29 inches. .319. Well, so we're getting around a 318 average. We had a couple that were a little bit outside that range. Here's the Halon 7 again. Falling stiff, and then it kind of really, there's more of a, there's a slight hint more valley, holds nice still, but I like the shortness of it in regards to, we have 317 again, so that's where we're at. Let me try the Halon 5. I can tell you right now, when I shot the Halon 5, it hit my sleeve. The Halon 7 did not. Okay, now we have the Halon X. It does have a kisser on it. The draw cycle also has a really long brace height. As you can see, over around 7 inches. It's a lot smaller cams. The draw cycle is not, it's quite a bit different than the other Halons in feel. Both the Halon 5 and the Halon 7, the draw cycle was more distinctive. This one, it's more of a stiffer, and then just right into the valley. And we're getting a little bit slower speeds out of it, looks like. Let's try again. This is also 28.5. .308. So it's going about 10 feet per second slower than the Halon 7. So we're getting about 333, 334 with the Halon 5, around 318 with the Halon 7, and 308 with the Halon X. Here's the Halon X one more time. I feel like it's a little easier to hold than the Halon 5 for sure. The Halon 7 is pretty close. 305, so we're getting kind of similar speeds. Let me shoot that. About, some of it's due to the sunlight we've had, but we're starting to see about a 15 feet foot per difference in speed between the Halon 5 and the Halon 7. Deer ain't going to notice the difference in that regard. My sleeve did, and I could be successful hunting with either one. I've already demonstrated that with the Halon 5. What I really like about the Halon 5 and the Halon 7, there's a Halon 32 out there, by the way, that I have shot, and it feels like a regular Halon except it's longer. But what I really like about these Halon 5s and Halon 7s is I do a lot of hunting in blinds and tree stands, and I like that short axle to axle. That's really helpful for me when I'm sitting in a small blind. Anyway, Halon 5, Halon 7, you're going to win either way. I think the Halon 7 is just a little easier to shoot. But you're going to sacrifice about 15 feet per second slower. The Halon X is great. I'm looking at that as my 3D bow or indoor bow. And I'll probably take it hunting someday too. Anyway, thanks for watching. But that gives you at least an idea of the Halon 5 versus the Halon 7 in speed. There is a little easier. I think this is easier to shoot in general, though, the Halon 7 over the Halon 5. But they all do the trick. Thank you, and take care.